In the vast expanse of lonely highways and desolate truck stops, there are stories that defy explanation and chill to the bone. These aren't urban legends or campfire tales, but true accounts from truckers who have faced unimaginable horrors on the open road. Brace yourself as we delve into the darkness and uncover 3 disturbing true trucker horror stories that will make you think twice before embarking on your next long haul. Story 1. The Phantom Hitchhiker. Our first story comes from a seasoned trucker named Mike, who had been driving cross-country routes for over 20 years. One fateful night, while traveling through the remote stretches of New Mexico, Mike encountered something he would never forget. It was a pitch-black night with no other vehicles in sight. Mike was driving steadily when he noticed a figure standing on the side of the road, thumb outstretched. Against his better judgment, he decided to pull over and offer the hitchhiker a ride. The man, dressed in ragged clothes and looking visibly distressed, climbed into the passenger seat without a word. As they drove, Mike tried to strike up a conversation, but the hitchhiker remained silent, staring straight ahead. The air grew colder, and an uneasy feeling settled over Mike. After several miles, he glanced over, only to find the seat empty. The hitchhiker had vanished. Shaken, Mike stopped at the next truck stop to clear his head. When he recounted his experience to other truckers, he learned that the stretch of road was infamous for sightings of a phantom hitchhiker, believed to be the ghost of a man who died in a tragic accident years ago. Mike swears he never picked up another hitchhiker again. Story 2. The Abandoned Rest Stop. Next, we have the tale of Sarah, a trucker who was making a late-night run through the backroads of West Virginia. In need of a break, she pulled into a rest stop she had never seen before. It looked old and abandoned, but fatigue got the better of her, and she decided to stop for a quick nap. Sarah locked her doors and reclined her seat, but sleep eluded her. She felt an overwhelming sense of being watched. Peering through her rearview mirror, she noticed faint figures moving around the rest stop. At first, she thought it was her imagination, but the figures grew more distinct, and their faces were twisted in expressions of agony. Panicked, Sarah tried to start her truck, but the engine wouldn't turn over. The figures drew closer, and she could now hear whispers, chilling, unintelligible whispers. Just as one of the figures reached for her window, the truck roared to life, and Sarah sped out of the rest stop. The next day, she recounted her harrowing experience to a local mechanic who revealed the rest stop had been closed for decades after a horrific incident where several travelers were found murdered. To this day, Sarah avoids that route, haunted by the memory of those ghostly figures. Story 3. The Black Dog. Our final story involves a trucker named Tom, who was driving through the dense forests of Oregon. It was well past midnight when he saw a large black dog standing in the middle of the road. Tom honked, but the dog didn't move. Reluctantly, he stopped and got out to shoo the animal away. As he approached, the dog stared at him with eyes that seemed almost human. Unnerved, Tom retreated to his truck, but as soon as he closed the door, the dog vanished. Thinking it had run off, he continued his journey, only to see the same black dog reappear miles down the road. This unsettling pattern repeated several times, each sighting more terrifying than the last. The final time, the dog appeared directly in front of his truck, and Tom swerved violently, crashing into a ditch. When he regained consciousness, there was no sign of the dog. Local folklore told of a spectral black dog that was said to be a harbinger of death, appearing to those doomed to a tragic fate. Shaken and scared, Tom quit trucking shortly after, convinced that the black dog had been an omen meant for him. These true trucker horror stories remind us that the open road holds more than just the promise of freedom. It can also harbor dark and malevolent forces. As you embark on your next journey, remember these tales and stay vigilant, for you never know what might be lurking in the shadows, waiting for an unsuspecting traveler.